And I'll tell you this much, I think ESPN, they're heading downhill, and they've been heading downhill. I really don't know how to ease into this video. We're just going to get straight into it. No intro, none of that. It's simply like the content, consider subscribing. You don't like it, don't subscribe. ESPN is literally falling apart as when I'm speaking and making this video. Do I think this is a big deal? Yeah, I think it's a big deal for multiple different reasons we're going to get into in this video tonight. And like I said, you better strap up, lock in ASAP because we're getting straight into it. ESPN is doing something I've never seen them do that's at least up to this magnitude. They're firing not just a lot of people, but they're firing some big time names. More importantly, for my college football community that I love, and we'll also speak on that in just a second, they're letting go David Pollock. Yeah, that was a tough one to hear just because of the nostalgia when I think about hearing his voice on College Game Day. That's some unfortunate news. We'll talk about that in just a second. Also, they're letting go a beloved Jeff Van Gundy. That's a big time one, and another notable one that I don't think too many people care about is they're letting go Jalen Rose. And they're also letting go of Max Kellerman. Can't believe that one. And also, when it comes to football, Todd McShay. That one shocked me a lot. Really hard to believe they're letting go of Todd McShay and Steve Young. And I'll show you the entire list right here. Jeff Van Gundy, Jalen Rose, Kellerman. Yeah, I'm not going to read them all off. You see him. Ashley Brewer, the new anchor. Who else another notable one? David Paul. Yeah, you see the list. But whoa. Hold on. Before we go any farther, I know what you're sitting there saying. Yo, Matt, what's going on? Why are they firing all these people? My friend, that's a great question, and I have your answers you're looking for. Like I stated, ESPN is falling apart, but why are they falling apart? That's because their parent, Disney, by the way, Disney owns ESPN, they're falling apart. There's a lot of things that play into this, so pay close attention. Currently, as to when I'm speaking, not only is ESPN trending, but also, as you can see right here, so is Pat McAfee. How do these two things correlate? Well, they go hand in hand with one another because remember, ESPN just signed Pat McAfee to a huge deal. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they're giving him $20 million per year. Oh, my bad, it's a little under that. He signed an $85 million 5-year deal, so about, what was that, $15 million a year? It's more so around probably $16 million, but we'll just say $15 million. The point is, they're giving Pat McAfee all this money and they're trying to make minor cuts. And as you can see right here, this puts it in a great perspective. People are outraged that ESPN is laying off $30 million worth of on-air talents but signing Pat McAfee for $20 million. That's 100% right. People are mad about it. And I've also noticed a lot of people think Pat McAfee's overrated. I gotta be honest with y'all, to keep it 110% transparent, I've never watched a single one of his shows, and I'm talking about Pat McAfee. He does his own live streaming show on YouTube. He streams for multiple hours, and although I've never watched it, I've seen the views he pulls. He's pulling like 25 to 30,000 concurrent viewers at all times. If you don't know what concurrent means, by the way, it means active viewers. He doesn't peak at 30,000 viewers. Those are active. I've never tuned in though, so I can't give you my 2 cents on that, but here's what I will say. I've seen some like uploaded clips, like 10-minute segments where they re-upload them, where they're talking about a certain thing, and I think they're okay. I mean, I think they're pretty good. But like I was saying, some other people, they obviously watch it more than me, and they have different opinions. Check out this comment. ESPN letting go of 20-plus personalities just to force Pat McAfee down our throats because he's loud and saying things like cuzzo. There's thousands of tweets just like that saying that Pat McAfee's too loud, he's too obnoxious, and blah, 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 blah. Going back to this, though, I've never even watched one of his live stream shows. I guess that's what you would call it. I've only seen a couple of 10-minute separate video clips from it, and I didn't think it was that bad. You know what? Now that I think about it, I do remember one of those video clips I watched. Him and he has like a crew he's working with. It's not just him. He has a couple of co-hosts, I guess you would call it. It's not like a one-man show. That's my point. They were screaming a lot and they were pretty loud. But I didn't think it was a huge turnoff. If anything, I could see how that brings in the viewers. So I do guess to some people, the whole screaming act and just acting with a lot of energy, it is a little too much. And I could see that perspective. But I don't know. I also think on the other hand, it's going to draw in a lot of people in the younger audience or even the older audience. Some people like that. I mean, heck, man, you know your boy Matt, I can scream and rage and get a little too overexcited myself. Here's the last thing I'm going to say about that, and we got to get a move on. Would you guys still watch my videos if I came up here like this? Hey guys, ESPN is laying off some people. Bad news, they're signing Pat McAfee. All right, have a good day. Bye. Hey, guys, I think Alabama's going to be a good team next year. I also don't like Jimbo Fisher. I love college football. No, you can't do that stuff. You see what I'm saying? You got to add some excitement, because if you don't sound excited, why are the viewers going to care? Hey guys, college football's back. I'm very happy. No, you can't do that. You got to go, man, I can't believe it. The season's right around the corner. Let's go, baby. Now that right there is a little too much, but you get what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to add a little excitement. But anyways, getting back on track here, let's get a move on. As you can see right here, however, they are unrelated. Pat McAfee is going to make ESPN money. The field host did not. Simple math. So in other terms, this article right here is stating that hiring Pat McAfee was unrelated to firing those other people. It didn't have an involvement. Like, for example, they didn't have to fire those people because they signed Pat McAfee, if that makes sense. And I'll show you some more. And believe it or not, this actually does make a lot of sense. So let me break it down for you. Check this out. ESPN laid off on-air talents to shed costs as part of a parent company's Disney larger strategy. I meant to say Disney's, but continuing along. In short, the company's goal is to increase profits and hope to achieve said mission by lowering salary cost. Now, signing McAfee would seem to contradict the lowering salary cost part of the equation, but it doesn't. See, ESPN and Disney expect McAfee to make the company money. Sure, the overhead is substantial. It's called business. One has to spend money to make money. And I agree 10,000%, but before I give you my thoughts, let's continue on. By contrast, ESPN figures the replacements of the likes of Kellerman, Johnson, Rose, Van Gundy, and Colbert will save more money than they will cost in quality declines. Consider that Kellerman and Johnson each made around $5 million a year to host a morning radio show. ESPN can now replace them with a duo that makes around $1 to $2 million combined. So as long as the next duo doesn't decrease ad revenue by $8 to $9 million, which it shouldn't, the move would prove cost effective. And that's 100% right. But here is the best part of this entire article that I love the most, and we're about to talk about. Most media talents are replaceable. They are products of the brand which they work for. Pat McAfee is his own brand. I'm going to say that again because people don't get that. Pat McAfee is his own brand. The rest of this article just explained that, but I don't want to use their explanation because I think mine's better. Here's the difference with all of this, and this is the greatest point. When I think of, and when you think of David Pollock, what do we think of? College football, college game day, or something with ESPN. We associate David Pollock with that brand. Therefore, meaning David Pollock is just a product of that environment. You see what I'm saying? When we think of Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso, even Desmond Howard, I'll throw him in there, that guy's a goofball, but Desmond Howard, we think of college football. And I don't mean this in a bad way because I think David Pollock is going to be successful in wherever he goes in his career. He's just a great dude, but he is a product of his environment. Whereas the difference with Pat McAfee is when you think of Pat McAfee, you don't think of ESPN. You don't think of a sports show. You think of Pat McAfee. You see what I'm saying? Pat McAfee's brand is Pat McAfee, if that makes sense. I really don't know how to dumb it down more than that. That's the best explanation I could give you. He has built up his own fan base and his own brand, and he's going to carry that over to ESPN, and Disney is projecting that they're going to make a crap ton of money off of that, which they will. So by them paying him $20 million, they're expecting to make $30 million off of that 20, and they're going to make $10 million profit every single year. David Pollock, Todd McShay, they've been working with ESPN so long, they're not bringing in new consumers. Nobody's tuning in to college football or ESPN to hear what David Pollock has to say. I mean that in the most respectful way possible. And it's really the same thing for Todd McShay. I mean, how many people in your life have ever said, I can't wait to hear and see what Todd McShay's got to say? Nobody in my personal life has said that to me, and I haven't seen it on social media anywhere. But, and I have a big but, you know what I have seen and I have noticed? People, not just some people, but a lot of people care what Pat McAfee has to say. And you know what that means? He's going to bring in that fan base to college football or ESPN, and they're going to make a crap ton of money. It is as plain and is as simple as that. Pat McAfee's his own brand. He has over, 2 million something subscribers on YouTube? Before he gets any bigger, Disney's like, dang, we need to sign this guy and take advantage. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we had this same conversation on the channel, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I can't tell you how many times people have commented in the comment section, tweeted this at me, sent it to me on Instagram saying, yo, Matt, you should be on ESPN. I think you're good enough to be on ESPN. ESPN needs to sign you, blah, 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 blah. I greatly appreciate those kind words. I really do. As do if I'm even good enough for that. Well, that's not up for me to decide. That's up for you guys and other people. Because without our community that we've built on this channel, and when I say we, I'm just talking about our community. I think most of y'all know this. I am nothing. But in response to all those kind words and comments that you guys leave, well, here's something I want to tell you guys. I don't know if I'd want to work for ESPN and leave what we built up behind. What we are doing on this channel has never, and I mean never, been done before. You can argue and say that Pat McAfee is doing the same thing, but he's not even in the college football niche. He don't even care about college football like that. He talks more about the NFL and just a variety of different subjects. And we do talk about a variety of different things. We talk about basketball, we talk about the NFL, we even talk about the Titanic submarine, but mostly we're a college football channel. And where I'm trying to go with this is, we are building up our own community. We don't even need an ESPN. And the greatest part about this is, nothing is going to stop us. Whereas, let's just say ESPN offered me a bag and that's the only way I would leave, and I go to ESPN and I grind my butt off and work there for 7 years, I'm building up their community. I'm building up their brand. Sure, I would like to believe that some of you would go to ESPN to watch me, but you see what I'm saying. We're building up ESPN's brand at that point. And guess what? I could work very hard for them for the next 7 to 10 years, and out of nowhere they could say, yeah, we appreciate you, but you're gone. And boom, just like that, I am left out to dry. And that's why I think doing what we're doing here is way better than ESPN, because we are our own brand. We are our own community. And also another reason why it's better than working for ESPN is because I can sit up here and say whatever I want. Nobody can stop me. I don't have some boss. I don't have to sit up here and praise every single team and quarterback even though I don't like them. If I think a quarterback's trash, I can tell you guys, yeah, I think this guy's trash. And that's the best part about this, because I'm not being controlled. Those people that work for ESPN, they're being controlled like robots. They can only say so much, and to a point, you censor yourself. And I'll tell you this much, I think ESPN, they're heading downhill, and they've been heading downhill. I don't know if it's going to happen in the next couple of years, but I think in maybe 5, 7, 10 years, you're going to see more of these sports people do what Pat McAfee's doing. You're going to see more of these people come to YouTube and have their own show where it's not regulated. You're going to see more college football channels. You're going to see more NFL channels. You're going to see more college basketball channels, everything. And I'd much rather hear somebody on YouTube that knows what they're talking about talk about their favorite team when it comes to the NFL, college basketball, college football, etc., than somebody on ESPN. Because for the most part, YouTube is raw energy. We can relate to it. For the most part, it's authentic and it's not too high professional, and that's why we like it. Or at least that's why I like it. I really do believe you're going to start to see more people transition and try to start going into YouTube and creating their own brand. And when I say more people, I'm talking about highly professional people. And here's a reason for that. YouTube doesn't pay creators a single dime to be on a platform. What am I trying to say? It's not a salary. Like ESPN, they hired Pat McAfee for 5 years, 85 million. YouTube doesn't do that. And since YouTube isn't paying people to be on their site like that, they're not giving them an exclusive contract. There's no cuts. Anybody and everybody can create a YouTube channel. Anybody and everybody can create their own show, and anybody and everybody can do what they want to a certain extent. The upside to YouTube is long-term wise. You can create a long-term brand over the next 10 to 20 years on YouTube. You can't do that on ESPN. And oh yeah, by the way, outside of college football season, who's even watching ESPN? Am I the only one who doesn't watch TV in the summer? I watch YouTube, and that's 90% of the crap I watch. That's all I got. This video was longer than I wanted it to be, but hey, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts down below about the Roman.